Hey everybody, Madeline here to talk about Pluto going retrograde. This is quite an in-depth topic, so this video is going to be longer than what Instagram can show, so do follow my YouTube channels where you can get the rest of this video. Pluto is the planet that represents the hidden, the occult. Some people think the occult is evil. Religions gave us the angle that it was evil, and that is not true at all. Occult simply means hidden, the unseen. Your plumbing is hidden. Pluto represents plumbing. Secrets. Pluto represents secrets. Pluto represents crimes, hidden. Pluto represents intimacy, sex. That is usually private. Pluto represents finances, joint resources, your money, your bank accounts are private. Pluto represents our fears, our subconscious issues, our fears, right? Pluto represents the place in our soul that we haven't grown. We haven't found the light yet. It's the dark. It's our shadow work. It's our shadow self. So Pluto every year retrogrades almost half the year. So this year is going to retrograde starting today until October 14th. And in October 14th, it will start to go direct again, back over this same part of the sky. So it went into shadow, which means it hit the degree point at which it will retrograde to, which is 1 degrees 22 of Aquarius on January 11th. That's when it hit, January 10th. So then today it goes retrograde. So it's going to go back over that sky, and then it's going to hit 1 degrees 22, October 14th, and then it's going to go direct again. So we're going back over this issue, whatever rose up from January 4th. Sorry, did I say January 10th? I get my dates all mixed up. January 11th and 10th, pretty close after that Pluto Mars opposition on January 1st. So then we've got Pluto goes into shadow January 11th, where an issue comes up that it seems like it's somebody else, because that's how Pluto works in direct motion. It looks like Pluto represents struggles and challenges that are rooted in hidden sources. For instance, you could have slow water pressure, or you have slow drainage, and there is a hidden issue in the plumbing. It's hidden. So Pluto direct, we're going forward half the year. We're allowed to go forward with Pluto, and it goes over a certain part of our chart. And then some sort of issues show up as a result of some sort of undercurrent that's going on, something hidden that we're not seeing is causing ruffles. And then Pluto says, okay, we're going to go back over there. We're going to deal with that. We're going to dig down. We're going to do some shadow work, some soul diving. And we're going to, so when this issue shows up, it in direct motion, it looks like it's outside of us. It looks like it's somebody else causing the problem. It looks like you can pin it to something. You can say, this is what's happening. They did that, right? That kind of a thing, right? So then when Pluto goes into retrograde, we go, whoa, we can't control the situation. We can't control that person. We can't change it. But what we can change is ourselves. And so we go through this death and rebirth, because Pluto is transformation. When you unclog that plumbing problem and you get to that source root issue, you're then going to, Pluto can take us forward again, because our hidden issues is preventing us from being able to go where Pluto wants us to go, which is to the riches and to abundance. But also Pluto wants to transform us from fear to faith. So we have this undercurrent, this issue, these subconscious issues that are causing external problems. But we don't see that when the Pluto's direct. It looks like the other person. So then Pluto's going to go retrograde right now. We're going to do some deep soul diving, some digging. We're going to reflect, discover. This is called shadow work. So you just, it feels depressing, especially when Pluto does this transit. It's the strongest, just so you know. Don't worry, it's going to calm down. But we're going to go into the sort of deep, reflective, soul diving shadow work and discover the hidden source of what is causing our external struggle, because our soul hasn't progressed enough for where Pluto wants us to go. Pluto is the planet of the riches and abundance. So Pluto wants to transform our undercurrent, our under energies, so that we can attract and resonate at the higher frequency and transform, shed the old skin, because Pluto is also like the death card in tarot. It's the snake. It's shedding its old skin because usually when we have planets in the eighth house, which is a Scorpio house, which is Pluto, Pluto rules Scorpio, that's an area in our soul that we have not found God yet. We have not, for instance, if you have your Jupiter there, you can make your husband your salvation and your God, or man your God, rather than God your God, you your God, your higher self. Your connection to the cosmic powers, you connected to your own empowered version of yourself. That's your salvation, right? So that's what Pluto's trying to do. It's trying to transform us, and it brings us up, it brings issues up in retrograde so that it encourages us to transform them, overcome them, face this fear. We face ourselves when Pluto's in retrograde. I've got so many notes on it. I don't want to miss it. I love this topic. When I get talking, I sometimes forget these important things. So toxicity shows up. These undercurrent, undertoxins show up. Pluto retrograde. Good time to do detoxing work. Get metals out of you. For instance, if you've got parasites or something, maybe you start to discover that and you do some sort of a treatment. It brings us issues, brings up issues that we have. We just deny it in direct motion, but they're there. So they bring up so that we can sort through them and release them. Release that toxic patterning. Our patterns, the other one, yeah, our patternings. Memories, also Pluto retrograde brings up past memories of past trauma. But that is an unresolved memory in our psyche body that needs to be resolved so that we can progress and resonate at that higher frequency. But that's what's causing us to attract the reality that we're attracting, that we re-experience from January 11th till now. That repeat, a blockage that is caused by something we can't see, or now we're going to see. We're going to see what that is. What else? Fixed signs are going to feel this, of course, the worst or the hardest or the most challenging. The fixed signs, it will affect you the most. You have to face things you wouldn't normally face, encourages you to do the shadow work to transform yourself into self-empowerment. So you should absolutely consult psychics, astrologers, therapy, what do you call it? Hypnotherapy would be great right now. Deeping dive into the subconscious past life traumas that are impacting your subconscious. Most of these these root fears that Pluto wants us to heal are past life trauma. Scorpio usually represents trauma and the hidden effects of trauma show up in retrograde, and then you see that you're the source, or your wounding or your trauma is the source of what's manifesting your experience. So Pluto directly, let me just see, facing challenges outside of ourselves. So when Pluto's direct, we're facing challenges outside of ourselves, and it feels a little more supported. When Pluto is in retrograde, we're discovering what is it? The internal challenges with ourselves. That's right. Our own limitations that are causing us our inabilities to be as advanced as we want to be on this progress, on our soul's journey here, which is to experience the ultimate experience of the balance of spirituality and materialism. When spiritualism, by the way, is, in my opinion, the true, and religion, in my opinion, and from my sources and from my studies, going back way back and studying ancient Egyptian priests and things like that, spirituality is true God. It's true, brings us, the astrology is God's scripture for us all to see. I mean, it's the truth of good, and shall we say, it is on our side. But when Pluto goes in retrograde, we're exploring and digging deep and doing self-discovery and breaking down our fears, releasing old patterns. Our victim, we're empowering ourselves where we tend to play victim because we can't control the situation. It boils down to not being able to control something that we have attachment to, fear-based attachment. So you can't get what you want out of the situation. So you have to do internal digging. And that's what Pluto does when it goes in retrograde, wants us to work on this and rewire our stories around trauma from the past that's causing us to repeat the loop. So, I mean, you can go really, this is all very complex. Scorpio and Pluto is probably the most complex sign um, in astrology. But basically, we're facing our fears and challenges from the inside now, and how we can do things differently and how we can not do certain things again. Now we are sextiling Venus on this transit, which means there is also the potential for deep romantic soul-based connections, helping this healing process. The truths coming out. Retrograde will reveal truths that are hidden, feelings, emotions. I should look at the chart. I'll share the chart later. Let me just pop up the chart, see what Mercury's doing during this retrograde transit, because I think it's in Aries, which is I like to sort of I like to discover the astrology as I'm talking to you, so I'm excited by it at the same time that I'm telling it to you. So Mercury, wow, Mercury's right next to Chiron. Very interesting. We're about to have that Scorpio full moon too. So that Scorpio full moon is going to be intense with that Pluto retrograde. Some deep stuff's coming up, revealing some deep, ugh. And it's on Chiron there, so there's going to be healing with it. We're going to be transformed. We're going to be more empowered. We're not, it's as painful as it is to go through these. It is the healing. It is what makes us into more heroes. Chiron, are we become empowered and stepping into what we're here to do. We have to go through this, like it or not. That's Pluto. That's why astrology helps. Some people think, oh, is it helpful to know this thing that is hard up that's coming up, or is it better not to know? I say it's better to know because you accept it and you flow and you have a higher understanding of why you're going through it. And then when you have a higher understanding of why you're going through it, it's not as scary. Pluto is all about digging down and excavating these fears, this rotten junk. It's I'm looking at all my flowers. It's like that fear is the compost. We're composting it and turning it into flowers. So Pluto is sextiling Neptune as well. So, there's some sort of very higher, I want to say, ability to connect with the soul more and to be dreamy and to have help in our dreams through this transformation with the Mercury, with the Pluto retrograde. And we are living a little bit in dream world, but I think that helps us connect a little more with our emotional center, which is what we're really transforming. The emotions is Pluto, hidden. Our psychic, our state of psyche, our psyche body, our psychological health. How healthy are we really psychologically? It shows up if you're not. Start processing something from the past and it's really painful and upsetting. And we get kind of, in Pluto energy and retrograde, you kind of dig in on an old wounding, pick a scab. So I hope that is helpful. I just really wanted to have a dig into the hidden powers of Pluto. By the way, it is extremely powerful. Pluto, the most powerful, the most slowest moving planet. So this ensures that we do the work. You can't spiritually bypass in Pluto retrograde. Not at all. You have to do the work. You're suffering, you're in pain, you're driven. That's how it works. It's transforming you into a diamond. You could escape it into addictions and things like that, and you'll bottom out though. So maybe you bottom out and you transform. Or you die, Pluto, death is Pluto, and you go into transform into spirit, but that would be your destiny, and that's okay. That's divine will. Death is divine will. It's part of our life cycle. So I hope that was helpful. And if you would like a personal reading to see how Pluto is impacting you and the kind of work you want to do right now on yourself and on your shadow, do feel free to contact me. And we'll dig in there and purge out any kind of obstacles to your success and your abundance. All right, namaste. Have a wonderful day.